have we seen firms changing their systems much over the past year or so? And again, in a nutshell, no, not on a particularly large scale. I think that's because the changes were more like tweaks to pre-existing policies. What I have seen firms do is use the 2019 rules as an opportunity to revisit and rewrite their accounts policy. And that makes sense to me because it's an opportunity to cut loose some of that really prescriptive detail, that fluff that was there before, and make sure their policies are flexible as well as being accessible to people who perhaps before were unfamiliar with the rules, and that includes partners and fee earners. So by now, firms should have a detailed manual that covers all aspects of the accounts rules and make sure they're mapping that to all of the guidance and any changes to the rules that take place. So it should be much, much easier now the rules are much shorter. Let's have a look at banking facilities. Now, we know it's a critical area with the SRA. There has been guidance for years on this, and the SRA has directly referred to banking facilities in the 2019 rules, which, given how short they are, really just highlight what a critical issue it is. So the SRA's position is, and has been for years now, clear. If there's no underlying, ongoing legal matter to justify holding on to client funds, then law firms shouldn't be doing it. But the difficulty for firms comes from the interpretation of what constitutes an ongoing legal matter. Now, I think it's pretty easy to spot when there isn't an underlying legal reason. The SRA released guidance on this ages ago, including a bunch of case studies that most of us hopefully are familiar with. Well, at the end of Feb 23, the SRA quietly added to those case studies, and they tweaked the wording or the context of a couple of the existing ones. So what have firms been doing? I really do think that firms are getting better at applying the 2019 rules now. And I like to think that's because the rules are so much shorter, they're easier to digest, and because all of the guidance to support these rules are all in one place now, rather than being spread out across the whole of the SRA's website. So I am seeing firms starting to get a handle on their residual balances. For a lot of firms, it's a long process. It's not something they've been able to fix overnight. But as I said earlier, intention to deal with them and having a structured plan in place is key. Firms are coming around to that. They're coming around to the idea that having that plan is probably a little bit more important than just ignoring them and dealing with the handful that we pick up for them. So although I have qualified lots of accountants reports because of residual balances, I feel it could have been a lot worse.